minutes, 390 to downtown. Just 15 from Wolf. Outbound 29 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 27 minutes from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to Saba Lakeshore Drive. The ride's relatively heavy. 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. The outbound ride is a trip time, 12 minutes, downtown to 95th. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with our meteorologist Steve Williams.
Clouds and humid, shower this morning, a thunderstorm this afternoon, which could be heavy, could bring some hail and damaging wind, high 83. Clouds and humid, shower, thunderstorm tonight, low 69. For tomorrow, partly sunny thunderstorm, high 85. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
74 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy J this morning is former Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass. You now get his writings and scholarship at johncassnews.com, as well as the Chicago A podcast that he does, johncassnews.com, johncassnews.com.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Dan.
The Secretary of Education is this hack named Miguel Cardona. And he addressed the press yesterday talking about these pesky adults that are getting in the way of school reopenings. These gosh darn adults who aren't teachers or administrators getting in the way.
We know what works. This is not our first time doing this. We have the benefit of the experience of last year. We have strong CDC guidance. The Department of Education has several handbooks. The back-to-school roadmap with tools, checklists, the tools are there. It's just, are we following the mitigation strategies? You know what I'm worried about? The adult actions getting in the way of schools safely reopening. Let our educators educate, let our leaders, school leaders lead, and we can get our schools reopened safely. And another thing that I'm worried about that I want to share is complacency. Let's not go back to the school system of March 2020. Our students deserve more. The funds are there. The urgency is there. This is our time to build back better.
Build back better.
Well, when we make policies that go against what CDC recommendations are, at the end of the day, we want to make sure the students are safe. We want to make sure the staff is safe. We know how to do that. So let's not get in the way of school systems doing policies that they know work for students and staff.
Stop getting in the way of these great government school systems around the country.
You're just parents. What do you have to say about it?
In loco parentis means parents get out of the way. I think it's Latin for parents get out of the way. Let us do what we know how to do. And, that's obviously specifically with respect to COVID. But you could apply the same talking points to illustrate the actual attitude of Miguel Cardona and the teachers' unions when it comes to curriculum, whether that curriculum is being inflicted via Zoom or in person. On that topic, we're pleased to be joined by Elana Fishbein. She is the founder of No Left Turn in Education. Their mantra is education, not indoctrination, and they provide resources, backing, legal expertise to parents who feel similarly. Elana Fishbein, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
So, the sort of imperious attitude, I think, that's conveyed by Miguel Cardona when he's reciting his talking points dutifully, as I said, it's applicable to those who would challenge critical race theory or hypersexualized curriculum, just as they would challenge anything the schools have to say about COVID.
Interestingly, one of the common thread into what they are doing, as well with the COVID restrictions, as well as with the CRT, is both of them are non-scientific based. There's no scientific base to neither one of them. They're making decisions and imposing them on the schools, on parents, and they could not justify them scientifically. And that's, in fact, one of the major problems, if not the major problem, that parents' role in the education of their children and the responsibility that they have for the education of their children has been canceled by the authorities that control the schools.
You know, there's this case out of Rhode Island, which is really astounding in terms of where this is going. This mom named Nicole Solis in Kingstown. I'm sure you're familiar with it, Kingstown, Rhode Island. She is now being sued. She's being sued by the teachers union for requesting documents associated with curriculum decisions at her kid's school.
That's how far they go to wage a war of attrition, if not a direct assault on parents. They are completely canceling parents in terms of their role in the education. I don't know how many people are aware that when the Department of Education was established in 1979, it stated there specifically in the statute that the primary responsibility of the education of the children is of the parents. And the state, the localities, and private institutions have the primary responsibility for supporting the parents. The way things are going now, it's not only that the parents are not being part of the education of the children, they are being, the authorities, the school board, the superintendent, the teacher unions are fighting the parents in order not to get an access to the education of the children. I constantly remind parents that at this point, what it looks like, that our schools, K to 12, have been hijacked. Our kids are captive audience, and they think that they can do whatever they want. We are rising. I congratulate the mother in Rhode Island and all the parents, grandparents, and concerned citizens that are rising up and are going to fight and are fighting for the securing the education system for our children.
We keep hearing from or reading in media, and I've left a newspaper that supports the idea that CRT is just, all that is law school talk, and there's no CRT in the classrooms. People are not teaching it. Teachers are not teaching it. What do you tell parents about this? How can the parent counter the argument prevailing in many of the liberal corporate media?
Indeed, it used to be in the halls of the law schools in the late 80s and 90s, in the faculties in the law school around the country. However, it should have stayed there. It should have not come into our K to 12. What I tell parents is, forget about the title, CRT or no CRT. What's important is what they're actually doing, what actually they are teaching, what the pedagogy that they are using in order to put that poison into the minds and the hearts of our kids. So are they treating the kids by the color of the skin? The answer is yes. Are they dividing kids into oppressors and oppressors? The answer is yes. Are they teaching them that when the parents told them that they are boy or girl, they are no boy or girl, but they can make their own mind already in kindergarten and decide what they want to be in terms of their sexuality? Yes, they are doing all those things. Please go to our website. We have all this information that shows what they are actually doing in the schools. And if they're doing any of them, you know that they are teaching what is now became to known as CRT. Because we know the other thing that they are using commonly is they hijack the language and they're using euphemism and different terms. So they do not call it CRT. But do they call it DEI? If they call it DEI, that means they are doing it. Do they call it anti-racism? That means it is CRT. Do they call it white privilege? Do they call it cultural proficiency? We have a document on our website with over 100 euphemism and terms that we call it the code word for CRT that are commonly used around the country in private school, in public school, in parochial school, in order to deceive parents.
NoLeftTurn.us is that website. And Elana, what else does No Left Turn do in terms of working with parents who are interested in taking up the fight against their school boards and administrators as needed about the curriculum choices that are being made? What else can No Left Turn do? Legal representation? What other resources are out there?
So, in general, we call it our 4 E's. We're educating, we're empowering, we are engaging, and then we are eradicating. So, first of all, from your question, it's obvious that many parents are being deceived and many concerned citizens. So, first of all, we have to educate them and expose what's happening in every school district in the country. And we need parents to go to our website, go to reporting, and tell your story there. So other parents and other people know exactly what's happening in every school district in the country. So we educate them, we provide materials to show what specifically goes on. So when they confront their school board, the superintendent, the principal, the teacher, they have the facts on their hands as what is being taught. The second thing, we are bringing people together to empower them, because confronting school board and this very oiled, very well-funded machine is not simple. Look how much money they have to fight this mother in Rhode Island to file a lawsuit against her. They are very old, very well-funded machine, as I said. So we have to come together. So we empower parents and concerned citizens by bringing them together, as well as teachers. By the way, the attack is on many teachers that do not go along with it. We have thousands of teachers from across the country who are joining us with the fight, as well as school counselors and psychologists. So we come together. The third thing, we are engaging people in 3 areas. Like you mentioned, lawsuit. We have the first lawsuit in the country of a parent suing the school system for engaging in this kind of indoctrination. The case of Gabrielle Clark is on our website, all the filing, including the expert testimony under legal cases. So go and check that case as well. We have other cases that we filed in court. The second thing, we do legislation. We are developing legislation. The first one is already also on our website as a model legislation for banning indoctrinations in school. We're also working on legislation, for example, to have cameras in the school, in the classes. So when the teacher closes the door, we will know exactly what they are teaching our kids. We'll have legislation, we'll have Bill of Rights for parents, for teachers, for students. We are working on a variety of legislation in order to protect our families and our children. And of course, we are engaging in civic action. Civic action involves, among other things, is going to school boards together and confronting the schools. We all have to exercise our civic rights and engage in all these actions. We are not going to stop until we eradicate it.
They're so powerful, the forces against you, the federal bureaucracy, the state politicians, the city politicians. Is there perhaps another way? I would argue maybe real school choice might be a way to leverage some of the things you're asking for, legitimate things.
Absolutely. On our website, we have information about our mission, goals, and objectives. And right there, you'll see school choice is one of our major goals. It goes back to my initial comment that the essence of all the movement is giving the power back to the parents, the responsibility of education back to the parents. And the best way of doing it by letting them choose the best education for their kids through school choice. So the money should follow the children, not the institution, and definitely not the teachers' union or the PTAs. That is another arm of the teachers' union.
Gabrielle Clark, you mentioned, we've had her on this show. People want to listen to that interview, go to morninganswerchicago.com. You can pull up that interview. Gabrielle Clark out of Las Vegas. That is a great case study, and she's a great parental role model on the other side of this equation of somebody who fought the fight effectively with the help of Elana and her people at No Left Turn as well. And by the way, Elana, I love the idea. You know, we've taught body cams for cops.
Yeah.
They're public servants. So are government school teachers. Let's put cameras in the classroom, or I don't know, body cams. And you know, you start holding people to a particular standard. You think they've broken the public trust, or there's too many incidents of misconduct and malfeasance, I think you can make a pretty strong case for public teachers, actually as compared to police officers, much less in addition to. Elana Yaron Fishbein, she's the founder of No Left Turn in Education. That's noleftturn.us. Elana, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
And she joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you aware that AmericanEagle.com has been designing websites since the internet started? Do you know they've helped companies large and small achieve results that they themselves thought impossible? Today, a well-designed website is an art form. There are no cookie-cutter solutions. At AmericanEagle.com, they are proud to design and develop a website that fits their client's business. Their experience shows that a well-designed website with the client's business at the forefront will bring an excellent return on their investment. Clients, from startups to medium and large businesses, have come to rely on them for a full line of website services from consulting and integration to digital strategy and marketing, hosting, and maintenance. AmericanEagle.com is the technology partner you need if you're looking for online success. They work with all kinds of companies in nearly every industry. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today, 1-877-WEB-NOW-1. Let them help you achieve online results and success. AmericanEagle.com, that number again, 1-877-WEB-NOW and the number 1, 1-877-WEB-NOW-1.
Every day it becomes clearer that our country needs an education system that teaches students to be clear-headed, biblically minded individuals. For almost 50 years, BJU Press has been producing academically solid textbooks and video lessons that enable students to form a perspective on life rooted in Christian values. In their history materials, they show God's hand on man's affairs throughout the ages. In literature, they explore the moral absolutes that God has put in our world. In math, they demonstrate how God loves order. And in science, there's not one page that doesn't demonstrate the omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence of the Creator. To learn more about BJU Press's biblically based K-3 through grade 12 materials, visit bjupresshomeschool.com. That's bjupresshomeschool.com.
Please allow me to introduce you to Salem Surround Chicago. This is where we